The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
As a small biz grower, so we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz grower, so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
And welcome to the Business Zone with Christo and Gilbert. Gilbert is on his way. My guest co-host, or our guest co-host, Ms. Dawn Strozier, she is actually recuperating. She had she overdid her workout and she became dehydrated. So she's taking some much needed rest because the sister is a hard working young woman. Hey, Margot. Hey, Angela. Hey, Veronica. Welcome to the Business Zone. So today we have some phenomenal guests that's coming into the studio. Not that every week we don't. So today on Friday, January 18th, 3 weeks into the new year and moving on into our February for Black History Month. So I'm starting a little earlier. So actually today is serving two purposes. We're going to talk about some legendary, incredible Black entertainers who our guests today are granddaughters of those guests. So I'm excited about that, excited to talk about it. But the best thing about it is the young lady that we're going to interview today, she and her mom, the young lady is actually was in my biz camp last summer, and so she actually launched her business. So I'm really, really excited for her, and so I'm looking forward to interviewing her today. And so that's what we're doing. Gilbert is on his way, as I said, but let me talk to you about something that I did last night, which was really, really a lot of fun. For those of you out in the audience, I know you guys remember Miss Thelma Houston, and Thelma, she last night I went to an event that was at the Grammy Museum, and it was called An Evening with Thelma Houston. And so she was there, and they were doing an intimate interview with her, and they actually replaced her Grammy, which had been damaged in the earthquake that we had in, I don't know when that was, in 1996, 98, 78, somewhere like that. So her Grammy had been just damaged. So they replaced it last night, and she entertained us, and she is just an awesome, awesome artist. She's been in the business for well over 50 years, and you wouldn't even know it that has been 50 years later, because she sang, she danced. But the best thing about that is Thelma actually is one of our workout partners, Dawn Strozier, who is the guest co-host here. Dawn is her fitness trainer, and so she works out with us 3 days a week, so it was a lot of fun. She shows us all up. She's in her 70s, and she makes us look like we are, I don't know, we look like we're much older than she is, because we can't even keep up with her. But she is an awesome, awesome person. So shout out for Miss Thelma Houston for an incredible career in the music industry, still has an amazing voice, still creating and dancing, and just awesome. So shout out to Miss Thelma Houston. Guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about, I'm having a workshop, and this workshop is taking control of your money in 2019. And I'm going to be teaching our entrepreneurs, business owners, hairstylists, barbers, anybody that is out there doing business for themselves, how to track their money, how to understand how their money comes in. So basically, this is the basics of accounting for small business owners, and it's there to help you make the most out of how you spend your money, how you do your invoicing, how do you track the sales, also the timing of your invoices and the timing of the payments of your invoices, so that in the payment of your expenses, so you have much more cash flow to work with throughout the month. So this class is going to teach you the basics, understanding like I do, because that's what I do, in an accountant and bookkeeper. I understand how money is supposed to flow through the business so you can get the maximum benefit of that. And so this is this class, we're going to teach you how to do this, because I don't know if you know, but most businesses fail due to poor financial decisions. If you don't know how your money comes in your business, it's not just about invoicing and waiting for your clients to pay you. It's about setting up terms. It's about making sure that money is flowing through the business throughout the month, because your expenses flow through the business throughout the month. Understanding how you're pricing your product to make sure that you are getting, you're including all the costs that it takes you to produce that product, making sure that you're including that in your pricing, as well as the value of that product. That's one of the things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about understanding cash flow, how you serve, how you make sure that your money is there to work for you for the entire month. We're going to talk about forecasting, how you project out for the year, and then making sure that you're working from the bottom up, how much profit you want at the end of the year. So that takes some strategic pricing and planning and forecasting throughout the year to make sure that you are doing that. And then the other thing we're going to talk about is the importance of financial reports and how to read your financial reports to also help you make those decisions, and tax preparation. There's been some new laws that are affecting different industries or industry clusters, and that's going to affect how you do business. Also, here's the thing: a lot of us solopreneurs, we never know when it's time to hire, and it's really based upon the flowing of your cash. Because once you start payroll, it's important that payroll continues on. You just can't start it and stop it. When you have contractors, you can kind of modulate when you want them to do work for you. But when you hire employees, which is what all businesses should be prepped to do, you need to know when is the right time to do that, and how much money you need to have on hand, and what type of business and services and you need to be offering to do that. The other thing we're going to talk about during this class is whether or not your product or your services is actually selling, and whether or not you should replace it with something that may be more popular with your customers or your clientele, or maybe you need to readdress the services that you're doing and actually create some new services based upon what the trends are and what your customers are looking for. So those are the things. So if you're interested in that class, right now it's running for $129 until January 21st. The class takes place on January 28th through February 25th. It's a 4-week class, and it's starting at 5:30 to 7:30, and it's going to be held at the Los Angeles Urban League at 4401 Crenshaw Boulevard, Suite 201. And so the space is limited. We have about a space for about 15 people now, and pre-registration is required to attend. So if you're interested in it, give me a call at 323-906-7004, and or email me at cmitchell544@gmail.com, and we can get you signed up and get you the link. This is important, guys. It is really, really important. I think most businesses don't understand how important being able to manage your finances are in your business. You can't grow if you don't know how much money you're making. You can't grow if you can't project out how much, or forecast how much money you need for the coming year or the coming years. You cannot grow your business beyond just what you're doing now if you don't understand, if you can't read financial reports, and above all of that, being able to how to manage your money so you're not paying out a lot in taxes. And then for those of you that feel that you don't want to pay a lot of taxes, so therefore you're not doing a lot of business, not the way to run a business. For those, let's be very, very clear. A real good friend of mine is Nolan Rollins, that was the president of the Los Angeles Urban League, used to say that he was famous for saying, make no mistake, we're in business to make money, but more than that, we're in business to create a profit. So you need to be able to say, I'm in business. I'm not working at my business. My business is flourishing whether I'm there or not, and it's making money and is in a position to help those in my community. So that's one of the things. So if you're interested in that class, give me a shout out and we will get you the information. At the same time, you have to be able to have a software program or accounting system that is tracking these expenses. So I'm having another class, and that date is on January 24th. It's a 4-week program as well. It's a hands-on training course. I'm teaching you how to use QuickBooks. I'm teaching you how to create your chart of accounts, and track, and how to invoice how to invoice, and as well as how to pay your bills, and how to put that in a system so it can generate reports for yourself, for forecasting, as well as for your tax preparation. And in addition to that, if you're looking and needing capital to run your business, you also need to have very adequate reports, your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement, so that you can let those individuals know that your company is making consistent money and has been making consistent money, and that your expenses are in control, and that you have money to pay them back, because that's the only thing they're concerned about, is if I'm going to give you money, how do you pay me back? So we're going to carry on. We're going to change to a different subject. But again, if you're interested in those 2 classes, give me a shout out and I'll help you out. This is what I do for a living. I've been doing that for 30 years. I kind of do it in my sleep, and I understand even businesses in my community, when they failed, I know exactly why they failed, because for whatever reason, we tend to think that that's not an important part of doing business, and it's probably the most important part, right along with marketing. So here's a subject that came up this week, both for myself and a couple other colleagues of mine. The difference between cost and value. So this will be some of the things that we're going to talk about in this particular workshop. As a consultant, sometimes it's difficult to price your product that is going to provide you with some profitability, and 2, at the same time, be affordable for your demographic that you're trying to reach. And sometimes we devalue ourselves. Sometimes other people devalue us, and it's a little bit more difficult than when you have a product, because a product is pretty easy to price. Generally, there's a market consistency. So if I'm selling water and everybody else is selling water, there's a common price between the 2 entities, and I have to either price it the exact same, and then I have to use other marketing tools in order to get you to buy my water, or I can price it, I can have some extra benefits to my water, which therefore will increase the price of it, or at least that's the way I'm going to market to you, is to increase the price of it, and then you find value in that, and then you purchase it. Now, doing that with services is a little more difficult, because it's not a tangible product. It's not something I can put my hands on. Generally, depending on how long you've been doing this service, your life experiences, your business experiences, and those of your clients add to that value. And if you perfected your craft, then that adds to your value. But how do we do that? How do we determine the difference between cost and value? So the way, when in our industry, in the accounting and finance industry, we look at it is the cost of your product or service is the amount you spend to produce it. So if I have a bottle of water or a cell phone, well, the materials that I use, the labor that I use, those are the things that, one, I'm buying at cost, and so at least to break even, I have to be able to recoup the cost of me being able to produce it. But at the same time, I need to be able to make a profit off of it. So then I have to add a markup to that will justify you buying my product over anybody else's. So that's the difference between cost and value. So when I am doing a service, it's a little bit more difficult to add that value piece onto it, right? So that becomes your being able to articulate why one would buy your service for the amount that you're selling it for, or why they would do it with someone else. So the price is so you have your cost, which is how much it costs you to create your product or your service. And 2, the price is the financial reward for providing that product or service. And then 3 is the value of what your customers believe that product or service is worth to them. So when it comes to us as service providers, that's where it gets a little tricky, because if we have to use any systems or products or anything to produce that product, okay, that's pretty simple. You pay X, Y, Z for your cost of goods or your cost of service, so that's part of that price. Then 2, if it's packaged anyway, or the labor, how much it costs you to execute that product or that service, or build that product or that service. And then 3, how do you deliver it to them, right? The marketing goes into that. Your office space goes into that. So that's a little easier. How is it? Hey, Michael, how are you? How do you add the value? Because the value is what your customer believes the product is worth to them. So for those of us that have service-based products, we have to make sure that our customer understands the benefits that they're going to get from this product, how that's going to help shape their life or change their lives or save them money or help them create something they need. So if we take a fitness instructor or trainer like Don is, what is the maximum benefit for you working out with a trainer versus working out by yourself? So that has to be articulated, and you also have to have your historical data so people can see the benefit of it. Now, I'm one that I have the self-discipline to work out myself. I do cardio, I do a number of dance classes and so forth, and I've always been like that, and I'm very active. I have my tennis and I used to ski. So it took me a minute to see why I would need, what the benefit of a trainer is versus me doing it myself. And so by working out with Don for the last 6 months, I have found the benefit. That 1 is that accountability, is 2, at times when I would talk to myself out of working out, or while I am working out, maybe not working at my maximum potential, with a trainer, that person is there to make sure that you are doing that. And then they're making you accountable for that, because they make you feel guilty if you don't come out and work out. And then, or at least for me, that's what I got of it. But what I have noticed in the last 6 months is my body has started changing. I have much more energy. My clothes are fitting differently. And so now the benefit of working out with a trainer has a lot. I've gotten there quicker than I would have done for myself. And there's some exercises that I do in the morning that I know I wouldn't do if there was not somebody over me saying, do the burpee. I just know that. So that's the benefit. So when you think about your business, what is the benefits of a person hiring you to be their coach, hiring you to be their instructor, hiring you to sell their home? Why should they choose you over the multitude of other people that are out there doing the exact same thing? So that's some of the things we're going to talk about. We're going to mark, you're going to actually identify what those benefits are in your business, and then we're going to learn how to price those into your product. The next thing is the criteria your customers uses for buying and making those decisions. For example, the speed of the delivery, the convenience, and the reliability. So here's something that happens a lot. We've hired for RBD, Recycling Back Dollars. I've done it with a couple other nonprofits. You hire somebody to do your website, and you don't know too much about it. So therefore, it's pretty easy for them to kind of take you down the rosy path and let you know that, the product is coming, but then the product may not come for a long time. And then at some point you need that your website to be up, and you're fighting with them to get it up. So now you've paid them a lot of money. So now you got to go back and rethink about it. Am I getting, one, the speed of delivery or the delivery that was promised? Is it convenient for me? Am I losing business because they're not producing the way they should be? And or this is you on your side as well. And is this person reliable? And are you reliable in delivering your product or services? So if you can score yourself or give yourself A+ grade in all those areas, then of course that means your price for your services are probably going to be a lot higher than the next person, because again, it's what you've been delivering, and you have the testimonies and you have the historical track record to say, I deliver X, Y, and Z 99% of the time to my clients. I offer great customer service. I'm there when you need me. And then the person can produce, or you can produce, the outcomes and the measures of being able to demonstrate that that's exactly what happened when they actually used your business. Okay. And then the next thing is the value that your customer places on receiving those benefits that you provided. So now how do we do that? So we have to make sure, and I'm deficient on this as well, that the people that we have serviced in the past, our clients or our existing clients or our past clients, making sure that they send you testimonies saying, wow, I worked with Christo and I was able to do X, Y, and Z. That's important, because when people are coming back, or you're pricing your products and they're questioning why you're charging what you're charging or why you're not charging less, then you can say, but if you've gone to my website, or you can read the testimonies of all the people that I've helped, and you can see the outcome. You can see that their businesses have grown. So therefore, this is why I'm charging what I do. And a lot of times, and we've talked about this on the show before, it's not just us you get us and all our community that we work with, all our colleagues, our previous experience with numerous of other companies, and we've actually seen how we've troubleshooted and helped correct and move them on the right direction. So you're not just getting us, you're getting a whole community of which we have access to. In addition to that, if you need other resources, we probably will have those resources that we can refer you to. So that's just to let you know what's the difference between cost and value. But one of the things we all need to do is, if we're providing services, we do a big advantage or to ourselves and to our bottom line, because we always have to be looking, again, we're in business to make money. We're in business to make a profit. And so we're doing a disservice to ourselves if we're not processing our products the way they should be processed. So I just wanted you to know that. And if you want to learn how to build a pricing strategy, again, the class that I'm having on the 28th, that's what we're going to talk about, making sure that we're pricing our products so that we are getting the most and that we can continue to provide our services. Because just like we're helping that person build their businesses, for those of us that are coaches and consultants, we are also running a business. So if I'm shortchanging my business, then I won't be able to offer you the high standard of services, because I'm worried about paying for my bills and everything that it requires for me in order to execute and provide those services for you. So just something to think about, guys. Sometimes I know we just throw a price tag up and we think that that's fine, but it's really, really, you have to understand what goes into that pricing, what fixed pricings that are there that you have to pay for yourself. So whatever it requires you to execute that product. So that's really, really important. And I think we should everybody should be thinking about that right now. We're in the beginning of the year, so this is a great time to make adjustments. When you go into a store and you see prices have gone up, it's because the prices have gone up because whatever they used or whatever products they needed in order to execute that sale or that product, or to sell that product to you, they've gone up. So on the back end. So if you go into the supermarket and you find your vegetables have gotten higher, it's because there's some other external something going on. Either there's a rain or the drought or something that is making your product more expensive to produce, and then you have to pass that on to your customers because you can't absorb that price, because again, you're not in business to go out of business, you're in business to make a profit. So just some things for you to think about. Hey William, how are you? Welcome to the Business Zone to think about. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to find out where my guests are, and we're going to find out where my co-hosts are, and we'll be right back.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
Hey, it's your girl Dawn of DS Fitness, and I am back with your Get Up and Move workout for the week. This week we're focusing on our core. It's all about our core today, tightening our center. Now we're going to use these sliders today. Now if you don't have sliders, no big deal. Simply find a nice hardwood floor, put some paper towels under your feet, and get to sliding away. It's doable. All right, so we're going to start with the balls of our feet on our sliders. We're going to kick out into a plank and knee to chest, knee to elbows. 3, come on. 4, give me 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now give me plank jacks. 1, come on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Find your sliders. Up and around. Come on. 1. Come on. 2. This is more challenge. Up. 3. Come on. 4, 5. Come on. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's finish it off with mountain climbers. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo, great job. There you have it. Awesome. Give me 3 more rounds. You are not done yet. Work that core. You guys got this. And for more Give and Move exclusives, visit me right here every day, every Monday at getuperica.com and Dawn Strozier on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you on Monday.
Okay, you are back with the Business Zone with Crystal, Gilbert, and Don. Our guests are here. They're at the back gate, LaRon. I don't know if the gate's open. It should be. But before they get here, so they should be here in a few minutes. I don't know if you guys know, and we've been talking about it for a little while, and we actually had Armin Santos in the studio a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about blogging and using blogging as a source to generate multiple streams of income. So our class has been growing. We got about 60 people in our network movement, and it's called the Digital Entrepreneur Movement. Digital Entrepreneur Network Movement, and it is really, really moving in the right direction. And so one of the things I talked with this weekend, we were talking, or this past Wednesday, we were talking with some of our students, and as they're moving into this new area, I just wanted them to know how much money, and we talk about this in the class all the time, and sometimes it just seems unfathomable that people are making the kind of money they're making using blogs. And so the blog, the amount of money that you can make as a blogger, if you're being consistent about it, is somewhere upwards. Wow, some of the top bloggers are making $60,000 to $80,000, $100,000 a month, just writing about stuff that they're interested in. And these are not corporations; these are just individuals that are writing about a lifestyle that they have, whether they're into food, whether they're into travel, whether they're into or in my case, it's business, but whatever it is, these individuals are writing a couple times a week, and they're earning these massive, massive amounts of money. So one of the things I want you guys, if you're interested in that class, we host that class every Wednesday after evening from 5:30 to 7:30, also at the Los Angeles Urban League at 4401 Crenshaw Boulevard. So let me give you a little bit. So we got a guy here. He does so I looked out the top, the top bloggers making considerable amount of money. So one of the blogger, he has a company called Slash, or he has a blog called Slash Gear. He makes between $60,000 to $80,000 per month. And what is he writing on? He's informing consumers the need of tech gadgets. If you're into any type of electronic gadget, an iPhone, an iPad, and you're looking to get your hands on the newest, latest, and the greatest, he's reviewing that, and he's making his money through advertisement. Another guy, his name is Matt Marshall. He makes between $50,000 and $100,000 a month. And now he's a journalist. So he started his blog in 2016, and he covers worldwide technology. He founded a Venture Beat, but he makes about $100,000 a month just offering his opinion. Another one is Gina Trappini. She makes about $110,000 a month, and she is writing. She's actually one of the highest earning bloggers as a female. She's the only woman in the list, in this particular list. And so her blog is Life Hacker. And so she's talking about, what is she doing? It encourages followers to share tips and new ideas to make everyday life easier. And so she's talking about gadgets and gimmicks and things that are going on in social media community. But again, giving a person a platform to offer their own tips and advice. $110,000 a month. Another guy, he makes between $55,000 and $120,000 a month, and what does he do? He is an informational site for building skills that compiles tutorials, lectures, and other teaching methods to inform readers about application software and numerous designing tools. He's not doing it. He's just writing about it, guys. And so he's doing his research, and he's informing other people that are following him, and he's grown his traffic to ensure that he makes $120,000 a month. Next is a young man. He makes between $80,000 and $110,000, and he does an article on Newsy site, and it's on the genres of food, events, and art. That's what he's talking. He's writing about stuff that he is researching, and he is making $110,000 a month on his blog. We're using ads and other sponsorship and membership. Another one, Timothy Sykes. What does Timothy do? What is he doing? It's his side job. And he writes one of the most popular high-earning blogs in the world. His story is inspirational, and he started as a penny stock trader. And so he's talking about that, and he trains people how to do that, and writes articles that help people around the world. He makes millions doing it. He actually makes $150,000 a month, $150,000 to $180,000 a month, giving people, training people on penny stocks and how to do that. Another guy, $190,000 a month, and he is writing a blog for website designers. So again, they're not doing any physical labor. They're writing blogs weekly. So everybody out here, you have a hobby or a craft or a skill, you could be writing those blogs. And we found that if you write a blog 2 times a week, you could be earning those type of dollars as well. And there are many ways. There's 5 ways to make that kind of money. So if you want to learn more and how to do that, then we are asking that if you're interested, then you want to come to our class, digital marketing class, every Wednesday afternoon from 5:30 to 7:30. And we are teaching you how to do that. All righty. So my guests are in the house, and I'm excited. So we're going to take a quick break so we can get them up here, and we can start talking. All righty.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186. Hello, meet Larry.
Okay, and welcome back to the Business Zone with Crystal Gilbert. And Gilbert just came in, and my guests are here. So what you just saw, if you were watching online, was a clip of the Nicholas brothers, and they were, wow. I did my research today, so that's one of the most talented two young men on the planet at the time. They were doing what they over 60 years.
To this day.
To this day.
The greatest tap dancers.
Greatest tap dancers, and that was coming from everybody, anybody. Fred Astaire, everybody. And they started at a young age. They were what we would call what is it? Not even triple, because they sang, they danced, they act.
They did acrobatics.
They choreographed. They were just awesome. So now, this young lady here, Miss Naomi Nicholas, she was in my class last year, and she had a business idea, and it was a dance studio for those that had special needs. And and I knew about the background, but you know, I had 25 kids, so I didn't have time to really. Now I understand who she is, because you remind me of Harold. Just based upon and I saw the movie. I actually watched the documentary, and you remind me of him. And you look like him, and you as well. And then I think I saw you dancing.
I'm sure you did. Yes, my sister and I perform as the Nicholas sisters.
Right. So we have royalty in the household here, and history, and we're getting ready to go into Black History Month, and this was just right on time. Miss Rhonda says hello. Look there and say hello to Miss Rhonda. And wow, I did not know that one was married to Dorothy Dandridge.
Yes, Aunt Dottie.
Your daddy?
Aunt Dottie.
Aunt Dottie?
Yes.
Okay. Now that just told everything. I mean, wow.
Yes, my Uncle Harold, so the youngest brother, was married to Dorothy Dandridge, and they have a child, Harolyn Nicholas. Okay.
Yes. So now where do you fit in?
Right, so Fayard, the oldest brother, his oldest son, Tony, is my father.
Okay.
So I am the granddaughter of Fayard Nicholas, of the most legendary Nicholas brothers.
Okay, and then you're the great-granddaughter.
Yes.
Okay. And then Dr. Nicholas, where do you fit?
I'm Fayard's daughter-in-law.
Yes. Okay.
I'm married Fayard's older son. Fayard had two boys, Tony and Paul. So I'm married to Tony.
Okay.
So I'm Fayard's daughter-in-law.
So this is just legendary right here. And it's so quiet. So you've been dancing how long?
Oh my gosh.
This is Kathy Nicholas, everyone.
Yes, I am Kathy Nicholas. I've been dancing since I was in diapers. 2 years old, I believe I had my first performance.
Wow.
So and that is over 29 years.
29 years. And his sisters?
My sister.
Right, but Fayard's sister danced with him before Harold was born, right?
Yes, they, for a brief moment, and they were called the Nicholas Kids, but her name was Dorothy as well, and she said, y'all can have this. I'm not doing this. I will be in the background, and then the brothers took it over as the brothers.
Okay, all righty. Wow, I was just very, very impressed in that, and for Black history, because a lot of times, obviously, and I think I'm a pretty good researcher, but I didn't know all of that detail. I mean, I've seen him in movies and so forth, and that he danced with Cab Calloway and so forth. But even I read that they, Debbie Allen and Janet Jackson trained under them as well.
Yes, my grandpa Fayard actually taught Janet and Michael how to dance in Debbie's backyard.
Wow. So it was just inevitable you were going to dance, huh? Because it's just all in the genes. So what do you get from dancing? How do you like dancing?
I love it.
You love it? Yeah. Is it natural?
Yes.
When did you start?
I started dancing around 2.
Wow. Okay. So just the whole. So who else in the family is? The actors, they're singers.
There's everybody. Yeah, actors, singers, producers. My sister has an engineering degree from Stanford. My mother's been a college professor for over 35 years. She's retired, but she's not really retired.
No,
but
no.
Yes, you know that. Yeah. But yes, education has always been extremely important. My father danced at a very young age. I believe he toured with the Nicholas Brothers until he was about 7 years old. He danced for kings and queens,
yes.
And actually got a special blessing from the Pope. But when he was about 7 years old, my grandmother said, you need to come back home, because she was insistent that he went to school because Sammy Davis Jr. could not read or write, and she wanted him to obviously
Now, she was an educator. Weren't they both educated? Because from the documentary.
Yes, they were. My grandmother was actually best friends with Dorothy Dandridge, and then in the later years, she was best friends with Rosa Parks. So we had Rosa Parks spend many summers at her house, for her home, and spend the holidays with us. I mean, our family is just so historical in its own right. But yes, dance is always in the front line of everything that we do.
That is absolutely phenomenal. And so Miss Naomi was actually in the Los Angeles Urban League Biz Camp last summer with us, and she was one of the 25 children that participated in the session that we actually had 50 kids, but she was in the first session. So Naomi, what did you get from the class?
From the class, I learned how to be an entrepreneur and to start my own business, have my own business plan and my own model, and how to promote a business.
Okay. And we were just so impressed when I found out, and I found this out by accident because her grandmother came to a QuickBooks class, and she happened in the passing of the conversation that they had opened up the studio.
We did.
So they launched the studio in September, 2 months after the class. Now that is a first. We don't have any kids that have been in the program. And Rhonda, you can text and let me know if any other kids have actually launched their business or so in such a short period of time.
So is the studio still in operation right now?
Absolutely.
And you've got customers coming in?
1,000%.
That's very good. Is it profitable?
It is. So far, I think this is the first month we've made a little bit of money. But again, we love the arts. We support arts education. And, you know, the holidays, you know, it slowed down. And, of course, the rain. Los Angelinos don't know how to act in the rain. But it's been a great time. We haven't fully branched out to children with special needs. Next month, we are going to jump into that. But we got our feet wet and started with ages. What age did we start at?
Ages 2.
Yes, we started ages.
So perhaps now that you've got the floor, and you got the mic, you got the video camera, and you got YouTube at your fingertips right now, I'd like you to look into that camera and tell the audience what type of business you have, what the business does, the purpose of it, and why is it a good idea for them to support your business.
Okay. My business plan is a dance school for kids with special needs. The reason why it's such a good business is because For kids with special needs, they love to dance. I've noticed throughout the years because at my school we had a dance program where we would cheer and dance, and a lot of them wanted to dance after school, but there weren't a lot of dance schools near their houses for them to do that. So now they have an opportunity to dance, and I've noticed that a lot of them love it, just moving their bodies and like hanging around all of us. So that's why.
Now, where's the studio located? Where is it located?
On Crenshaw.
Crenshaw. What's the address? Do you have the address?
4273 Crenshaw Boulevard.
4273 Crenshaw Boulevard.
Yes, so right between Stocker and 43rd.
Do you hear that, audience?
Yes.
And what's it called?
Nicholas Dance Studio.
And what classes do you guys teach? What classes do you offer there?
Everything. We have hip hop, jazz, tap, ballet, and then that's just for the kids. But then we have adult classes too. So there's like yoga and a heels class.
Okay.
And we have twerk classes on Thursday.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Fun
So you have to sign up for that.
Yeah, come on, shake it out, shake it out. Yes.
And so you're the instructor.
We both are the instructors.
But then I heard this week you instructed a class. So what did you teach?
I taught ballet and hip hop.
She did.
Okay.
So Grandma Nichols, you teach the twerking too?
I need to take the twerking so I can get my
Yes, it's a core thing. It's a core thing.
I hear it's good for your abs
It
and
is.
your thighs and
That's
your back.
exactly right. And of course, there's also yoga and Zumba, so I can. It's something there for everyone.
Very good.
Lots of dance fitness. We just want everybody moving and stretching and sweating. Yes.
Which is important because that's that exercise.
Exercise.
And actually, dance exercise. Before I make that comment, Rhonda said that you are the very first that produced, you launched your business so quickly after the class.
Yeah.
So we are so proud. So we got to really, really make that huge.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's fantastic. But one of the things they said that about dance is one of the exercises that because you have to memorize routines, that you're less likely to get dementia or Alzheimer because it's the math patterns and the patterns in your brain.
I think I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Recently,
Yeah.
This week. I heard that.
Yeah, it says very important. If you don't do anything else, dancing and getting into a dance class is incredible. And there's a big movement for seniors that do line dancing and ballroom dancing, and so that will keep their mind active over because it is when I perform. I perform in a burlesque troupe.
All right.
And so we do. I've been my fourth. I think Christmas I did my fourth performance. So learning the routines is like wow. So we 2 or 3 routines in a show. Like wow, okay, the brain is really working trying to get all them things moving and your limbs.
So you're starting a movement here. This is a great movement because folks who not able to do certain things and you're teaching them. This is amazing.
I have taught a seniors tap class for 3 years.
Really?
My mother is in it. Yes.
I take tap from my daughter. I'm finally learning to do what she's been doing since she was 2.
Yes. And the structure of my class always starts with a stretch, a warm up, and across the floor, I let them take a water break, and then we do choreography because the repetition and muscle memory is extremely important.
That's fantastic. Yes. So now, did anyone else in the family have the desire to be on stage consistently like your grandfather and your uncle?
In the blood, right?
It is definitely in the blood, in the DNA.
But we have one of our stars with us right here.
Oh, so your son as well?
My son, yes. He is more of the herald. Naomi is definitely the Fayard.
Oh, okay.
They had 2 totally different personalities. But at this time last year, my son was in an international tap dance competition in Germany.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, fantastic.
So we all went out to Germany. It was actually for Thanksgiving. They spent a week there, and he got 4th place out of 53 countries, which was fantastic. He made so many friends, a lifetime of memories, but let him tell it, he's going to be a professional baseball player.
Oh, okay. But now I think it was your dad. Was he the one that went to Europe?
Yes, my
Because
dad
he
did
said
go to
he
Europe.
absolutely loved being in Europe.
Oh yeah, overseas they treat you like a king.
Yeah,
Yes.
he said that was like awesome to him.
Yes.
But it was amazing, and you guys are so young, and I don't know. I'm sure you know your family history, but what your grandparent and your uncle did was they broke so many color lines, and so that puts them right up there with all of the rest of, Jackie Robinson or anybody else that was able to perform. Because some of the things that I found interesting when I watched the documentary was, even though they were phenomenal and some of the best dancers in the world, they still couldn't intermingle with the white when they performed at the Cotton Club. They couldn't sit or interact with the white customers. Also, when they were filming at Fox Studios or any of the studios, they couldn't eat in the commissary, so somebody had to make that happen for them. So even though they were the best performers in the world, their color still was a hindrance to them.
Yeah, their name was on marquees of hotels that they could not sleep at. And speaking of Fox, my sister was CEO of reality TV at Fox for about 3 years, and on her first day she actually took my father into the commissary at Fox, and they sat down and had lunch.
Oh my God.
Is a true honest story. It was the same commissary, the same, and that was obviously an extreme gift to my father and my family, and we all came, and it was super special.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty awesome. So you two that's just amazing, because our history is so important to us, and you actually grew up in it, and you came from legendary, famous individuals that were super, super talented. So they didn't, I think, was it Harold said they didn't rehearse, they just... they were natural.
They never had a dance lesson.
Never had a dance lesson.
Fayard learned from watching, because his parents were musicians.
Right.
And like many children, you go to work with your parents, and they were able to watch. His mom played piano, his dad played bass. They were able to watch these dancers perform. So Fayard would go home and practice and do what he saw other dancers do. And when his baby brother came along, he taught Harold all those steps and routines, and they became the Nicholas brothers eventually, but never had a dance lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Now I'm going to ask Dr. Nicholas, she actually was the chair over at, what was
business
it?
At West LA College.
At West A College. So business is her thing.
Yes.
So like with most entertainers, black entertainers of that time, running a business wasn't something that was a natural thing to them.
Correct.
So how did they function? Was it their mom who managed them?
Yes. When they were very young, their parents were their manager. And especially because before they came to California, they did a lot of performances in other cities. And then once they got to Los Angeles and started doing movies, their mom still was their manager, because if you look at the history real closely, on his way to Los Angeles, their father was in a car accident and was killed.
Right.
So that they had always been represented by the family. Mm-hmm. And the mom still did that. She still stayed with them, and those are her boys, and they went on to do other things. Now, of course, the interesting part you mentioned is their role was always as dancers. So they were in all these movies, just famous movies with other people, but they never really had speaking parts. It was always singing or dancing. But it was family representation.
Wow.
And back in those days, a lot of the dance scenes would get taken out of movies when they were sent down to the South. So that is why a lot of times they did not have speaking roles and cross that fourth wall. But I believe, excuse me, Down Argentine Way, one of their movies with Carmen Miranda, that was the first movie where they said, let's just keep it. Let's just keep the dance scene in there. Let's see what it does. And they showed the movie, and at the end of the dance number, the audience stood up and applauded and told the movie operator to rewind the movie all the way back just so they can see the Nicholas brothers.
Now, let me ask you this. These movies that you guys are talking about, are there anywhere in the African American Museum today?
Well, the movies are all on YouTube, or certainly
well,
their dance scenes are
Well, what I would
on
do
YouTube.
if I were you, because this is like a landmark. This is historical.
And we
So-
met with them. We did have meetings with representatives from the African American Museum.
I would make a campaign to reach out to those museums and make sure that they have that as a part of it, because this was tremendous.
Yes, of
I mean,
course.
back then, like you were saying, we weren't able to interface with Caucasian groups. We weren't able to speak in movies, but people wanted them.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted to see them perform. So
Oh yeah, they have because with the
campaign for
Miguel, was it the ballet guy, Baryshnikov, he said that. I mean, Fred Astaire, and then on the documentary that I watched, all of the greats, Danny O'Connell, because I was really heavy into black and white movies when I was a kid, and I watched TNT, so their movies actually come on TNT, and there is a black classic channel for these movies, and so they're there. So on TNT, when they're doing the Callaways and the Nicholas brothers, they get major hype. Gregory Hines, the tap dance. He only talks about the
But the Nicholas brothers are in the Natural History Museum of Arts and Culture in
Washington.
Yes,
Yeah, I
their
saw
picture is in there, and they have a video playing in the room with
Yes.
the big screen, and there is something in the Smithsonian of the Nicholas
Yeah,
brothers.
because they're awesome.
Yes,
and
the
They are.
greatest.
Yeah.
And even locally, the Oscars or the Academy organization they're building a new building on
Fairfax and
Wilshire.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. And they've also approached us about having Nicholas Brothers either memorabilia or tap shoes or in some way representing their era or themselves in the new building.
Authorize that?
Yes, we will.
1000%.
It's already
We just
done.
want to keep the
Yeah.
legacy and keep it going. And obviously, there's a Facebook page and an Instagram, and it's posted daily with just behind the scenes and untold stories and pictures about my family. You know, he was just my grandpa. He was at every show, every school graduation, every birthday party. I didn't really understand the magnitude of who he was until I was about 13 or 14 years old.
Right.
He was just Grandpa Fair.
I must say, I'm very ashamed to let you know, audience. that I really don't know.
But you were in Jamaica, so you were in Jamaica, so
I have a pass.
you give you a pass.
But tonight, go on YouTube.
I'm going to have to study up on this because this is part of our history, and we
1000%.
really need to know that. And having the real live family members here to share some of that story and history is tremendous.
I agree. We have a lot of family home movies because it was very interesting when Bayard was young. They traveled a lot, but he took a camera with him all the time. He's got selfies of himself, and this was back in.
So he had selfies before selfies.
Yes, he did. He absolutely
But they were
did.
so. It was like they were made to be on film.
Yes.
Because they really, if you're watching them, and when you watch the I'll send you over what I saw this morning. I mean, just were made to do this. It was because vaudeville was an interesting era, a genre of music. So it wasn't just about you just getting up and dancing like today's dancers. They had to have character. And so the way they dressed, just sharp as tacks all the time.
They've never done blackface.
Well articulate.
Yeah, never did blackface, never
Yeah.
anything less than a suit and tails and bow ties. Always a class act, always super clean to the whistle. Yes.
Yeah, just awesome stuff. And then you add on their talent. And you just like, wow, you're just blown away with what they could possibly do.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so I was definitely impressed and had a complete different understanding of this incredible family here.
It's amazing that the third generation or fourth? She's a granddaughter or great granddaughter?
She's the great granddaughter.
Great granddaughter.
Fourth generation.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that the fourth generation is going to carry on this
Absolutely.
story, this history, this message. And when you grow up, your kids are going to carry it on. Too. So this is amazing. This is tremendous.
Yes.
So did your husband dance?
Well, Tony
Tell
thinks
the
he
truth.
danced.
Okay.
Yes. The short version of it is he traveled with the family as a child because they were in Europe a great deal. And so ages 1 to, well, not 1 and 2, but clearly 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. He was dancing with the Nicholas Brothers, or with the family, with his dad and his uncle. Okay. But by the time he was 9, and Kathy kind of alluded to this earlier, the mom said, you need to come back to Los Angeles and go to school. You need to be in school in a traditional fashion, and this dance career is not for you right now. Okay. So his career ended before he was 10.
But there are videos to prove this.
Yes, there's some videos of him when he was 5 or 6 dancing.
Okay. Doing the splits and flips and just...
Okay. And then there's another brother. He has a brother?
Yes, my dad has a brother, but he didn't dance at all.
He didn't dance at all.
And he actually had 2 sons who didn't dance either.
Okay.
But one just had a baby today, so we have a brand new
girl,
Nicholas.
yes.
Well, congratulations.
In our family. Yes.
So you and your sister danced at the funeral, right?
My sister and I have danced everywhere,
Even
but yes,
Carnegie
I
Hall.
believe we did perform at his memorial. Yeah, we performed it.
Yeah, I think I read that.
Hall, Cuba 2 years ago. We were just in London together. Amazing. We've been to Spain. Yes. We've been the Nicholas sisters for over 25 years.
Super celebrities.
A little bit.
Rub off a little bit on me.
But definitely in the arts and entertainment world. I mean, not to toot my horn, but I mean, we are asked to travel and perform and teach all the time. That's why it was so important to make this home base.
You guys could get a Netflix gig.
Well, would you call me about that?
On Netflix.
We have.
Well, Krista has all the connections. So let's try to see what we can do here.
Yes.
Because, I mean, this is worth being on Netflix.
Right now, I'm extremely focused on my family and the legacy. For the last 11 years, I was the tap teacher at the Debbie Allen Dance Academy.
Okay.
So I was Miss Allen's choreography assistant. I've worked with Mariah Carey, Chris Brown. I'm the assistant director of the Hot Chocolate Nutcrackers. So tap and the arts has always been my safe place. But now it is time for myself and my family and my legacy, and I have made so many connections and relationships, and she's taught me so much. But yes, tell Netflix, holla at us.
Holla out. Y'all hear that? Holla out here.
We're going to have to do some representation.
I tell you. I think, because it's, again, and this is a good time for it, because our history, you're seeing more and more about stories about us and things that are now we're embracing our history and our culture, and we're not finally, because sometimes years ago kids were like, oh, that's old stuff. Now we're embracing, and you're reading stuff about
Green
people.
Book and
Green Book. And did you guys see Green Book? Because this is definitely
first weekend.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if you saw Gilbert, but Green Book
I
was.
haven't seen it yet. I'm messing up. But I know they get a lot of awards.
So you know it must be good.
So, and he was a concert pianist, and he lived above Carnegie Hall. And when he went to go to the South, he knew that he wasn't going to be well received, because he would be playing in country clubs where he couldn't even eat. And so the Green Book was actually a book that was created or published that you knew as a black person, as an entertainer, where to go and where you would be accepted. So you could be way on the other side of town, and you'd have to perform and then go on the other side. You couldn't even dress in a lot of the places. Awesome. And the music, I think his name is Sally?
Dr. Shirley.
Dr. Shirley. And just awesome. So, but I am just so impressed with all of this. And so the young, what's your son's name?
Nicholas.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Nicholas.
Nicholas Jones.
Hi, Nicholas. So how was your experience in Germany?
Well, always my answer is it was outstanding. And even if I didn't get the high honor that I did of getting 4th out of 53, I would always say that it was such an amazing experience to be able to go out in Germany on this very long 14-hour flight and then another hour drive. But I always tell everybody that I'm extremely blessed to be able to travel around the world with my grandmother, my sister, and my mom, as always. and it's just so amazing to be able to express my dance, and also while doing that, express the Nicholas brother blood that is always in me.
Okay, yeah, you're absolutely right. That is Harold over there.
Ham it
Wow.
He's just getting started.
How cold was it in Germany?
When we went to Germany, the hardest thing about packing is packing blankets, because we had to pack like 20 and try to fit it in a suitcise.
Because it was how cold?
It was like 5 degrees,
Yes.
and we were freezing, and I was always trying to play football so I could just run, and I won't be in a hotel just like shivering in the bed.
So you want to be baseball, not dancing, though? Or you want to be a dancing baseball player?
My whole entire plan had always been to, well, since I was a little kid, I've always loved people like astronauts. I've always wanted to be an astronaut and explore space. And then
flew a small plane already.
Yeah, I went to flight school, and also, but then my grandfather, he introduced me to sports, and I've always loved playing sports ever since. And you always love what you're good at. If you're good at baseball or if you're good at basketball, you want to play because it makes you feel, when you're good at something, it gives you this bright feeling inside that you really love. But I would always love to start off with baseball, but end out being a dancing astronaut.
Okay, I like that. A dancing astronaut. And I'm going to introduce you to a friend of mine. His name is Gil Cargill, and he has been flying since he was a little boy. Yes. His great-grandfather was a Tuskegee Airman, and he just recently built his own plane. Ooh. And so he has been flying all over the place, and that is what he lives for.
We love to meet him.
I will introduce you to Mr. Cargill. He would be very impressed with you.
Well, we're definitely going to have to invite you guys back because we ran out of time, and we got to wrap it up right now. But we'd love to have you come back.
Yes, and we have to bring our tap shoes next time.
Bring your tap shoes. And Dr. Nicholas, we're going to have you come back and talk about business.
Yeah. No problem.
But you are in good hands, guys. And Naomi, we're so proud of you. So, Naomi, what's your plans, as before we wrap up, what's your plans for after high school, after college?
After that, I believe I'm going to take over my mom's studio while also doing my own studio.
Now, Mom has a desire to franchise. Now I really understand the need. Yes. I didn't have all the pertinent information when I was talking to you guys the other day. So you're going to take over the franchise business, right? Not just the studio, the entire franchise business.
Because I'm going to retire at 40, so it's on her.
All right.
Well, one of the key things that minority businesses encounter, they suffer, is the business aspect. The knowledge is not there. They don't really focus on the business. They focus on the craft. So what we're trying to do here on the Business Zone is to build entrepreneurs that can focus two-dimensionally on the business as well as the craft. So whatever we can do to guide you into being a better business owner, a manager, owner, that's what we want to do. So feel free. The door's open.
And she's started out with the Entrepreneur Biz Camp, and so we're extending that into an entrepreneur club this year. Good. So we'll take her under our umbrella. And Nicholas, are you going to be participating in the camp this summer?
I don't know.
Why not?
Okay, well, we'll talk about it.
Why not?
It's never my choice. You just
whatever they say.
My grandmother and my mom are driving the car, and I'm just chilling in the back seat.
All righty. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for coming on. I will make sure you get a copy of this clip.
Fantastic.
And you can put it up on your YouTube. Fantastic. And it's going to reside on the Urban League Biz Camp website as well. Good. And then we actually want to meet with you guys so we can do a big thing about that. Okay? Yes. So I've already spoken to them.
Before we go, just look into that camera right there, the one in the middle, and tell the audience how they can get a hold of you, the name of your business again, where it's located, and how they can sign up and participate.
I'll start and we'll go around.
Okay.
It's Nicholas Dance Studio, and it's a dance studio for everyone. In case you thought that it may only be special needs, that's a vision. But the current status, it's for everyone, starting with ages 2, tiny tappers. And then, of course, we didn't mention the stretch class. Nicholas, tell them quickly. We offer.
And we also offer athletic stretch classes for athletes or any male who wants to get their strength or just stretch your muscles. I take that class just to up my strength for my baseball and basketball
and diving.
And I have recently joined the dive team.
Excellent.
So it is on Sundays.
And Naomi?
What's the phone number, Naomi?
The phone number is 323-445-2500.
And all our social media is Nicholas Dance Studio. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube page, all of that. Nicholas Dance Studio.
And the address?
4273 Crenshaw Boulevard. 4273 Crenshaw Boulevard.
I'm sure the audience will be tuning in, and they'll certainly check you out.
Yes,
and
join
this
us.
is just
Come by.
wonderful. This is phenomenal.
Thank you guys.
so much.
Thank you. So we're going to go take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You're tuned into the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, and we're going to take a break, and then we're going to take pictures with you guys, and then we're going to bring up our next guest. And thank you so much. We're so honored to be in the studio with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
Hey, it's your girl Dawn of DS Fitness, and I am back with your Get Up and Move workout for the week. This week we're focusing on our core. It's all about our core today, tightening our center. Now we're going to use these sliders today. Now if you don't have sliders, no big deal. Simply find a nice hardwood floor, put some paper towels under your feet, and get to sliding away. It's doable. All right, so we're going to start with the balls of our feet on our sliders. We're going to kick out into a plank and knee to chest, knee to elbows. 3, come on. 4, give me 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now give me plank jacks. 1, come on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Find your sliders. Up and around. Come on. 1, come on. 2, this is more challenge. Up. 3, come on. 4, 5, come on. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's finish it off with mountain climbers. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo, great job. There you have it. Awesome. Give me 3 more rounds. You are not done yet. Work that core. You guys got this. And for more Get Up and Move exclusives, visit me right here every day, every Monday at getuperica.com and Dawn Strozier on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you on Monday.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into...
So we're back on the Business Zone with
Krista
Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic, and Crystal, who do we have in the studio today?
Well, after that wonderful, this has been just a great day. So we just had the Nicholas family leave, and now we have Miss Anissa Rashad. And after 25 years of serving in senior leadership positions in corporate America for organizations such as National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, and Northrop Grumman, that's how I know you. Okay. Anissa Rashad founded Anissa Rashad Enterprise, a global executive coaching and leadership development firm focusing on shaping high-performing cultures at Fortune 500 companies and government agencies, aimed at accelerating business growth through executive coaching, leadership strategy, and keynote speaking. She has clients that span the globe, and her legacy includes building women's group programs that shatter glass ceilings. It provides access to executive roles. She's a board member of the Goal Diggers, the Sankofa Project, and where else? And she holds an MBA from the Johns Hopkins University. She's also a graduate New York Times best-selling author and Lisa Nichols Global Leadership Program, and a host of everything. She went to university, she's an adjunct professor at the University of California, San Diego, and the Randi School of Management, and she currently teaches at Webster's University. She's a proud recipient of the 2017 Dream Big Experience Entrepreneur of the Year. Welcome, Anissa.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have
Gilbert and Crystal.
Welcome to the Business Zone.
Happy to be here.
And I want to make one big clarification to all of our listeners right now. When we were doing our introduction, we talked about Gold Diggers, and I just want you guys not to get the wrong impression of what this organization is. It's Gold, G-O-A-L, Gold
That's what I said,
Diggers.
goal.
I know, but they might hear it a little differently, so I want to clarify that. So Gold Diggers mean that you establish a goal and you try to work your way and try to get to those objectives. So that's what this is all about.
So, you know Alicia
Absolutely.
And Jovita Jenkins.
Absolutely.
All of my Bella sisters.
All of your Bella
And have you been to a Bella?
I have.
Yes. Well, I met you a couple years ago at when we did the one down in.
Well, I've been to things at Alicia's house. I don't know if I've been to an actual conference.
Okay. So then I've met you though.
Yes.
You look familiar. Well, welcome. Well, the young man said he wants to be an astronaut. So
yes,
there you
indeed.
go.
I already connected them with a few things.
Okay.
Before I got online.
Good. Well, welcome. Powerful resume here, powerful bio.
Thank you.
You've been quite busy.
Yes, I have. I really have dedicated my life to helping leaders inside of organizations and as entrepreneurs just be more effective in their everyday lives, really trying to balance this thing of leading at the top level inside of organizations and then managing outside in their businesses as well.
Okay.
Now tell the audience a little bit about Anissa Rashad's company, what it's all about, what it does, and how did you decide to form it?
Oh, sure. So Anissa Rashad Enterprises is a global consultant firm. We consider ourselves a boutique firm, and what we do is we do executive coaching, and then we do leadership and professional development inside of mostly Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies. And so what that looks like is we go in and we help the leaders, them individually be more effective in managing their teams and leading their organizations, and then we help them with their leadership team, so doing their strategy and doing their planning and things of that nature.
Okay.
So before I make my next point, I want to really put this out there for our audience who are listening right now. So your website is AnissaRashad.com, right?
Yes, it is.
Anissa, ANISA, Rashad, RASHAD.com. I want you guys, you're watching the show, you're listening right now, go to that website. The reason I'm saying this, I went to that website and I was blown away. She does these call-ins, where she has professional women from all over the globe call in on this line, and she do like a Skype thing. And she motivates them, she gets them ready, and she provides them a lot of resources. And I was just so impressed and so proud to see you in action with people of all stripes, white, Asian, Caucasian, you name it. And these are all HR professionals.
And they're not all just HR professionals, they're all just business leaders. So a lot of them are profit and loss leaders. They run lines of business. I just launched in January, which I'm super excited about, the Life podcast. And Life stands for Live Inspired Fully Every Day.
Oh, fantastic.
And so that's where we're bringing in the men and the women, and we interview business executives, thought leaders, and artists who are at the top of their game, really unpacking what I call their spirit, their SPIRIT. So we look at, what's your secret sauce to success, right? Your S, right? What's your secret sauce? How are you able to manage at the high level that you do? So that's the first thing we get from them.
Yes.
And then we look at their P. What leadership principles do you use in your life that you employ to live by and to run your organization by? And then we go on to their I, asking, what are you innovating on in your life or in your career? Right? And not just for you, what are you innovating on in your organization? What are you innovating on for your teams? And so that's the SPI. And then we take them to the R and find out, okay, you're performing at a high level. Are there any particular rituals or any particular morning routines, things that you're doing to help? Because a lot of times, you guys know, when you perform at a high level, you just do what you do, Crystal. You get up and you're Crystal, right? And other people are like, well, how'd she do that? How'd she teach? I just heard you say all the things earlier that you were doing. And people are like, how is she teaching these entrepreneurship courses to the kids, and over here speaking and doing this show, and on Thursdays doing mastermind groups? How does she do all of this?
See, they don't know that she's Superwoman.
No, but it has a lot to do with your daily routines and how you organize your life. So that's the R. And then we move on. Who motivates the motivator? The I.
Yeah.
Where do they go for inspiration? If you're at the top, I just interviewed someone last week. He's considered the Steve Jobs of infrastructure. So he runs a $300 million line of business inside of his corporation. He has 1,500 employees, that he directly manages and has others that fall under his purview. And it's like, well, you're motivating all these people. Who motivates you?
And it's so important because as coaches and consultants, a lot of times, and it's taken a long time. That's one of the reasons I really appreciate the Bella Network, and I go to the PNC conference, the Power Network conference with George Frazier, is because when I go there, I can learn from other people that are doing more and better and higher level stuff than I am. That way I can strive to get to a higher level. Because what I find sometimes it's difficult when you're down on this side and you're doing the coaching, no one's feeding you, right?
Yes.
So you got to leave to go and get refueled and then come back so that you, and it is important for those of us that are doing what we do to be able to collaborate and work with other people that are doing things outside of our specialty so that we can also grow and get fed as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then the last one is the T. And I just asked them to share with us 3 tools that they use to help them do all the things that they do. And so sometimes they talk about apps. People are using their Apple Watch. Outlook is something that comes up often. We have grocery delivery services, Wonderlist, all different types of things just come into play that these leaders are using to help them live inspired fully every day. And so the goal with the Life Podcast, they can go to it at lifebyanisa.com. And the goal with the Life Podcast really is that if you're listening to it over the course of a year or 2 years of listening, the quality of your life is going to improve because they're going to take 2 nuggets from you and 1 nugget from him and 1 nugget from her. And so they're going to start applying all of these things to help them raise the level of their own life so that they can live inspired fully every day.
That is phenomenal. Well, congratulations. So when did you launch your podcast?
Podcast launched in January, so it just last a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Well,
just
fantastic.
launched a couple of weeks ago. We already have been interviewing since October, so we had a lot of interviews in the can, so we've just been releasing them, and it's so amazing. Like, we just booked the ambassador for Zimbabwe. We're going to be interviewing him next Friday. And so it's just really nice to see how the word has spread. It really, really is. You know, when you kind of do something and you feel like this is big, it's one of those things that you know that because it's what was need, right? When you birth something that's birthed out of a need, then you know you're in that right space.
And one of the, the inspiration behind the Business Zone was for that very reason, that there's so much knowledge that our small business owners and our entrepreneurs and our solopreneurs don't get because they're working in whatever they're doing. So to be able to bring people so that they can at least see who these people are and hear what they're doing and inspire them to do more in their space as well. So it's very important. I think podcasting is one of the better things for all of us. Here at the studio, Felicia Morris is creating a Black Talk podcast network so that information is being disseminated. Because the more we hear it,
absolutely,
the more it's going to resonate with us, and then we're already making change,
absolutely,
and waking people up, because it's important right now that we get woke and stay woke.
Well, one of the reasons I love the podcast venue is because I was a podcast junkie, right? And what I loved about it is when I'm in that commute, right? When I'm picking up my son from school, when I am cooking dinner, I'll just put a podcast on. When I'm taking a bath or curling my hair, I'll just put the podcast on, I'll listen, and you're getting all of that information from all of these different sources. So
and podcasting is becoming a new animal. My sister listens to it. I like visual podcasts, but she's more of an audio listener. And so she was looking at listening to a podcast which was called Dirty John. It's actually a true story. It's a true crime story that took place here in Orange County. And so she's listening to that, and one day I hear her going, "Oh my God!" And I was like, "What are you doing?" And then she tells me, I was like, "I'm watching the Netflix version of it right now." Are you serious? So then she's like, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah, girl." And so now she's watched the Netflix, which is because it's visual. You can see different nuances that wasn't in the podcast. And there's another one right now that was a podcast. It's called You, and now it's a movie on Netflix. So the podcasts are now becoming movies.
And I love that it's all of these mechanisms that are out there for busy entrepreneurs to get information and to get education to help elevate them in their business and in their life.
Yes.
So if you were to paint a profile of your client, what would that look like?
Okay, so I have about 3 different types of people who come to me. And so the first person is either an HR leader, diversity and inclusion leader, or even a line business leader who has the responsibility inside of the organization to develop the people. Right? So they may be over learning and development, making sure that everybody have all the tools, that they have all the skills they need in order to do their job well. And so that's one of my clients. So that I would build out these leadership programs, these training classes for them. Another one of my clients is who I call Jill. Okay, and Jill stands for JIL, and it's a juicy integrated life. And so a Jill is a person who is maybe busy, stressed out, and slightly overwhelmed. If you're listening, you might fall into this category. Busy, stressed out, and slightly overwhelmed, and she's really trying to figure out how to manage it all, right? Right? How to really have what I call a juicy integrated life. And so what I help them do is I provide them those strategies to really be successful at work. And it's these tweaks that you do. And that's what the Life Podcast was birthed out of, years of working with folks and helping them, optimize their performance and perform at a higher level.
See, when I tuned into your website and I watched your online conference, that's what I got. I heard you talking about the Jill, and I was going, what's a Jill?
That's a Jill.
And then all these women were calling in and telling you about their Jill and how they handle it. I'm going, wow, this is amazing, inspiring. Exactly. And they were just so motivated by you. I'm telling you, I was really, really impressed. Now, let me ask you this. We know in corporations, you've got HR, and HR is usually not advocating on behalf of the employee. It's usually on behalf of the company, trying to save them money and resources and time. How is what you do, your executive coaching, how is that different than what the HR person does?
Oh, very, very good question. And so what I do is I work with the individual. And so if I'm doing a training class, I have a preset determined objectives that the organization or whoever said they wanted the training and what they wanted on. So I have those objectives laid out. And so when I go in to deliver the training, it's my job to make sure that they get this particular learning. Sort of if you're teaching a Nifty class, right? You go in, today we're going to cover this material. Executive coaching, it's all about you. It literally is customized based on where you are and what your needs are and where you're trying to go. And what I found is a lot of my clients, they're not even exactly sure where they're trying to go. And so after years and years and years of working with people who were stuck, but they wasn't really clear where they were trying to get to, they knew they were stuck and they couldn't get out of where they were, but they were not really clear about where they were trying to ascend to. I created a program called 30 Days to Clarity.
Okay.
30 days to clarity. And in 30 days, we're not trying to have 10 deliverables. We don't promise you 10 deliverables. We promise you one outcome. You could have been stuck for the last 5 years, confused. And I guarantee you, if you participate in 30 Days to Clarity, you will be clear about what your next best move is.
Very good. Very good. I like that.
And I think within the corporate world, that's really needed. I was reading something recently. A young lady was leaving Facebook, which is an interesting, it's like a .com, but really not corporate culture, but a very restricted corporate culture. So she was saying they were not allowed to, they always have to be up, whether they're feeling up or not up.
Wow.
And that's part of the Facebook culture. So you always have to be optimistic, Mary. And even if you come in feeling bad. But the other thing is they use a system where the your peer colleagues are going to review you. So whether you like this person or not, you're always sucking up the other people. So that's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
And this young lady left because she said that culture, she's gay, and that culture doesn't work for her.
Mm-hmm.
And she has to suppress who she is because there's no diversity or inclusion in that culture. And if you talk about it, then they talk about you on this internal email or internal Facebook, and then they bully you.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so a lot of people are leaving Facebook for that reason, because there's so much stress within the culture, the company culture itself. And that happens a lot in corporate America.
The culture of an organization is so important. And one of the things I work with my clients on is understanding, and this is from an organizational perspective, understanding what the sweet spot is.
Right.
And I call the sweet spot the SUITE, sweet spot, where I'm helping my clients get to that C-level, get to that executive suite. And if you would imagine a Venn diagram, over here you have, on this side you would have the company values. So these are all of the things that the corporation deems to be important. And then on the right side, you have the individual's values, right? And unless the corporation can really tap into that individual why, unless that young lady you're talking about can bring her whole self to work, she's not going to give you
not
her best.
beneficial.
Right.
Exactly.
And so the reason I call it the sweet spot, because in that place where the organization's values overlaps with the person's individual values, in that space is where you're going to get this is where you're going to fix your engagement problem, right? Where people leaving, people are going to be happy to come to work. Then guess what? Then you're going to fix your retention problem, because they want what? They want to stay longer.
They want to stay longer.
Right? Then you're going to fix your, raise your productivity, because they're doing work that they enjoy doing in an environment that they like to be in with people who probably share similar values, right? So then that's your profitability.
And that would elevate them to the suite.
Right, exactly, because you got people coming to work, they're happy to do it, they're staying longer, they're doing better work, you're going to make more money.
Exactly.
So if organizations understand that sweet spot is really where you want to be.
And it's interesting because years ago when I did, and I haven't worked in corporate America in over 30 years, but years ago when I was in corporate America, they were working, you did have those kind of environments, right? But somewhere along the line, that's all shifted, because right now it's not about the employee. I mean, and when you have to identify the companies, and you can identify the companies on two hands, and that's it, that actually have a company culture that is embracing the whole holistic employee, because you're getting more out of them, then that's pretty sad. When you can only name 10, right?
You're like Zappos, and you can just kind of name them.
Right. Ben and Jerry's, that has a culture that they're embracing, because it's common sense. If you want more predictability out of a person, then you need to make them feel appreciative, right?
It's really simple.
It's really simple. It's not a hard equation.
Absolutely.
But nowadays, it's not like that. When you look at the airlines used to be the best place in the world to work. It is now the worst place in the world to work, because they could care less about you.
I remember years ago, I used to fly Southwest Airlines, and my friends would be like, oh, I fly this airline and that airline. I was always like, I love Southwest. Why? I can get on. The people are happy, right? They're joking. You can sit anywhere you want. At the time, my son was an infant, so I can move to a seat where we wouldn't disturb other passengers. Right. You can sit where you want. One time, my father was ill, and I didn't get on a flight, and I thought about it like a month later, and I called them, and they're like, oh, you have a credit for whatever the amount of my ticket was. That's it. And they had to call. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm with them. After that, I was like, I'm with them forever.
That's great customer service.
And now everybody, oh yeah, I fly Southwest. But back then they were turning up their nose like so. No, it was about that culture. It was about that customer service, and their people made me want to come back to Southwest.
That's good. So you have an acronym that you use as part of your operational style, which really helps a lot of your clients. It's called TIE, T-I-E. You want to tell the audience a little bit about TIE?
So what I do is whenever I'm working with my clients, I help them tie it all together, right? So I help them think strategically, increase their engagement and collaboration, and then execute on their top priorities.
Oh, fantastic.
I help them tie it together.
Tie it all together.
Yes.
And that's beautiful. And if they really don't understand or get it, then you give them strategies that will really help them to implement implement it.
And one of the clients that come to me, they're folks inside of organizations, and I call them dualpreneurs. They're inside of an organization, they're working, they're an employee, but they have that passion project. I was that person. I was that person working inside of a corporation, and I knew that there was a vision to work on a bigger scale, right? There was a vision to help folks that didn't just have a badge for that particular organization. And I think a lot of people struggle with, how do you get from that place of being a highly compensated employee, which I call those the golden handcuffs. Why? They're golden because it's a lot of money, but it's handcuffs because you feel like you don't have the freedom right, to leave and to do what you may have been born to do or you may be good at. And you don't have the luxury to start at the ground floor. And so when I work with my dualpreneurs, I'm like, don't be in a rush to quit your job. Stay on your job. Stay on your job. And what I want you to do is I want you to build your business, right, to a place until you get your business to the place where it fires your job. Let me say it again.
That's
you build your business, right, on the side until your business fires your job. So what does that look like? That looks like putting together all of the infrastructure for your business, right? Because let me tell you what, it's hard to be creative when you broke. Y'all ever met any struggling consultants? Right? It's hard to be creative when you're trying to figure out how to pay your bills. So while you have a job, why don't you look at that job as the primary investor for your business, right? So how would you treat your best customer? That's how you look at their job. I'm doing this because this money I can now redirect. I can build an amazing website, right? I can use this money to hire employees. Before I left the last company I worked for, I already had 3 employees because I had money. I just didn't have time, right? So I built it and I put all those things in place to the point that it was costing me money to stay. And because I had an employee mindset, and I think so many people do, I didn't even realize it. I was looking at it as my nice, warm security blanket, right? Remember Linus from Charlie Brown? That's what a good check every other week on Friday feels like, right? That's what a good check feels like every other week on Friday. And so it was my security blanket. But once I left, you know what I discovered, Gilbert? You know what security blanket. Well, what I discovered, it was an anchor. It was an anchor. It was holding me down.
Holding you back.
I could have been doing more, making more, being more happy, more fulfilled, but I was afraid. And those fears are real.
That's real. They're real. I mean, they're paying your bills.
Absolutely.
Now, I kind of had that's what happened. How I when I went into corporate America, I knew that I was only going to give it 10 to 15 years. Actually, 10 years. So I went in it with the goal to get out, to get everything that I could get, all the training, everything that I needed. And then I started my business like 5 years before I left in my business, and then I made it fired the other
And
day.
this is why she is the person doing what she does. This is the playbook right here. No, I have chills because I feel like somebody needs to go on a crusade and tell all the young people who graduate from college exactly what you said. You have to begin with the end in mind, as Stephen Covey would say. You have to go into corporate America on day one with your exit strategy.
That's right.
You need to save your money with your exit strategy. You need to purchase your home. You need to do your investments. You need to get all of these things aligned and lined up. And then you need to start before you did it exactly as it should be done. You need to start it and then transition. And you wait until your business fires your job. A lot of times people will come to me and like they want to get coaching because they want to get out, right? And the first thing they're like, because this is December, I'm quitting in February. All right. What's the driver?
Plan?
Right. So what is the driver for that? Are you being asked to leave?
Right.
You know, somebody pushing you out the door.
You just can't stand in the morning.
Right. And oftentimes,
no plan.
Right. And if you can't pay your mortgage, that's a lot. That's another level of stress, right? So you want to make sure that you have a solid plan. Who's your customer base? What are you offering? How much are you charging them? How long does it take you to deliver that? Is it 3 classes that are 2 hours each? Is it 6 classes? Is that over 6 weeks or 6 months? Oftentimes they haven't packaged. And so what I'll help them do is I'll help them name what they do, because that's one of my genius lanes. When you talk about those acronyms, that's one of my genius lanes. Name what they do, and I help them name it in a unique way. So that if you want that, you got to go to them. If you want the small business paramedic, who do you have to call?
That's right.
Right, you got to call Gilbert. Now, if you want help, if you want consultant with your business, you want all these things, there are like 200 million people you can call for that stuff. Right. But if you want the small business paramedic,
that's right,
you got to call Gilbert.
That's right.
That's how you brand your product. You put that unique brand on your product so that you build your model, your template in a way that they have to come to you to get that particular service.
With that being said, tell us a little bit about your experience at the School of Management at Webster University, because I'm sure that molds you a lot.
So I'm a teacher at heart, right?
Yes.
Like at heart, I'm a teacher. So I always, no matter, even when I was in corporate America, I always had a university gig, which is also one of those revenue streams. I teach my clients to have at least 7 revenue streams. And one revenue stream I recommend to them is hey, while you are still in your corporate gig, you can go teach a class on a Tuesday night, right? It's after work. You're teaching working professionals. That's a great way. That's another revenue stream, right?
And it's helping you to keep your skills current, sharpened.
Absolutely.
And you're still out there.
Absolutely. I'm always teaching, one of the classes I teach is strategy. And so, yes, it helps you keep your skills sharp. I taught for UC San Diego, Rady School of Management. And then I currently teach, because I wanted to be more local, I teach at Webster University.
Yep.
And one of the things, when you go into it with an exit strategy, that means that you're using it. That was my PhD level. So I'm using that. So that means I'm going to become the person on the property that knows everything.
Absolutely.
And that they're going to send everybody to you while you're working. So when you leave, now you turn around and they become your client.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And the one thing that I found when I did that was I was much more respected as the consultant. Doing the exact same thing that I was doing as the employee.
Well, if I got to write you a check, right?
Yeah. So now you are the expert, aren't you? I was an expert and employee, but okay, you didn't get that. So now, as my client, now I'm you giving me the respect. So that's one of your clear exit strategies, right? Because you're the person that they're looking. They're always sending people to you.
Absolutely.
So I see you have a big list of clients here, which I'd like the audience to know some of these impressive clients. You've got AECOM, you got Edison, Northrop Grumman, you got Walgreens, Starbucks, and just to name a few.
Absolutely.
This is phenomenal.
It is. I have been so blessed and fortunate. And it's very interesting, Crystal, because a lot of my business comes from word of mouth. I had someone call me, and I wasn't accepting any more coaching clients that quarter. And so I said, oh, you're on the East Coast. She was based out of New York. I said, I know someone who's amazing, who's a coach. Let me connect you with her, and I think you guys will be great. She said, what you don't understand is the person didn't say you need a coach. They said you need Anissa Rashad.
That's right.
So she said, I'll wait till next quarter until you can take me.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm loving that.
But that word of mouth is the best. That's how my business has always been.
Absolutely.
Word of mouth.
Best form of advertisement.
And so even when you say about leaving a good legacy, I want to emphasize to the folks who are listening, when you're inside of that corporation, do your best work. Do your best work.
Yeah.
Don't half do it. Don't half show up. Give your best work, because some of my biggest contracts with some of those big companies that you named came from people who worked with me inside of Northrop. So they saw my work ethic. They saw how I showed up early and stayed late. They saw how I poured in and how much time I put into that position. And so I've had calls to say, hey, I want you to come to this company and do exactly what you did for the leaders when I was a leader at Northrop, and you came and did this for I want you to come do it for my folks over here.
And Northrop seems to be the company that really, because, Alicia's over there and Jovita was over there, and I have quite a few other friends. I know Vicki Harper Hill. And so it seems to really embrace his employees and treat them with a lot of respect. And for growth, because I know Alicia got the covenant. They paid for her to become a Stephen Covenant consultant and training, and she went to the training. So all the things that she is today, and when she goes back into with the Bella to ask for them to send some of their other younger engineers, they're like, here, we'll pay for the whole table.
Yeah.
So Northrop happens to be, and they actually produce our resource guide for the Recycling Black Dollars,
Nice.
and have been doing it for 8 years, and they've been really in our corner. They're one of the organizations that really takes what they do in their outreach with their employees, their outreach with the community, and they take it to a much higher level than a lot of corporations do.
I will tell you, I just interviewed someone yesterday for my podcast, for the Life podcast, and she is, a bit older than me, and so she's worked for Disney and just a list of amazing companies, and she said that the best company that she had worked for in her career was Northrop Grumman.
Everyone that has been there, I even when I meet them at the conference, no one talks bad about being working at. They all have the highest sense of regard for that company. And then I've met the leadership. I've met, like I said, Vicki Harper Hill, just an incredible woman.
Yeah.
So even the management and the executives are just incredible people.
So it has a lot to do with the culture and core values.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. And that's probably why you align yourself so well with them, because your core values
Absolutely.
very similar to theirs.
That sweet spot. There
The
you go.
sweet
It's
spot
that
right
sweet
there.
spot. It's the sweet
So
spot right there.
we're almost out of time, and time goes by so quickly
Yes.
when we're having good information
Absolutely.
disseminated. So we'd just like you to tell the audience, Anissa, how to get a hold of you, the name of your organization,
Absolutely.
and all of that good stuff.
Absolutely. I am Anissa Rashad. You can get me by going to lifebyanissa.com and checking out our podcast. And you can also follow us on all the social media at Anissa Rashad.
Well, it's been absolutely a pleasure, and I've seen you. I don't think we ever had a time to have a
So
conversation.
this is nice.
Yes.
We're having a nice first conversation on camera.
Right, exactly.
But we won't let this be our last.
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
it will
And
not
the
be.
first time you two met was at the GLAC event, that capability
that
statement.
you were
I
doing.
was teaching.
That you were doing. Yes, I was in the
Okay, that's why
the
you were looking
first
for
time
the.
you-
Okay.
So this was at a session that Gilbert was teaching on
Yes.
corporate capability statements
Oh,
that we
Right.
were both in.
But then
attendance.
if she was at Alicia's house,
Yeah.
we were there, but there was probably crowds of people.
Right,
Yes.
people.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
met then. I never really got an opportunity to actually sit down and have a conversation, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank
and
you.
I love what you're doing,
Yes.
and congratulations,
Thank
and continue
you.
up and doing. And in the summertime when we do our biz camp, we actually reach out to professionals to come talk to the kids. So if you're available,
Absolutely.
would
I
love-
used to teach Nifty when I lived back
Oh,
in Maryland. So
okay.
I'm very
you
familiar
know
with
the
that
Nifty
curriculum.
program,
I'm
yeah.
very familiar.
Yeah, so we.
So, do you want to go over your ad real quickly? So,
Oh, I did the first 35 minutes already
Okay.
on it, so I can get this class sold.
All
Yeah, I
right.
did 35 minutes on this.
All right. Well,
So,
I'm going to go ahead and give a little
Well, I
blurb
want
on
to say
mine.
we have a Clarity program that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. So
Good.
if anyone's interested in that 30 Days to Clarity program, absolutely reach out to us.
Definitely.
At Anissa@Anissarashad.com.
Excellent.
That's Anissa@Anissarashad.com.
Excellent. And we've got a 6-week contract readiness training program going on at the Vermont Slauson Economic Development Center at 1130 West Slauson Avenue. And it's every Tuesday from 5:30 to 9 o'clock. This past Tuesday, we had capability statement development, a wonderful class. A lot of people participated, even though it was raining. This Tuesday, it's going to be infrastructure development and business plan. And then the following class will be certifications, get you certified. Then we're going to teach you how to get contracts. The whole purpose of this program is to get you at least one certification and then get you connected with a contract. You got to walk out of there with a certification and a contract. So that's really what this is all
Who
about.
wouldn't want that? A certification and a contract in 9 weeks?
That's what.
Right? He's giving
actually,
you
6 weeks.
6 weeks. So he's
6
giving you
weeks.
all the tools right there.
Oh, yeah.
It's right there at your disposal.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So if you need to get a hold of me, my number is 626-533-1186. That's 626-533-1186. It's been a pleasure having you on the Business Zone.
It has been, and we are here. Don, get better. I'll see you on Monday for workout.
We were worried about you, Dawn. Take care of yourself, just like you tell us to take care of ourselves, okay? So next week, we're hoping you'll be back on the Business Zone with us, and you're listening to the Business Zone with
Crystal.
Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic, along with our special guest,
Anissa Rashad.
That's what I'm talking about. We're out.
All righty. See you guys next week.
As a small biz pro, so we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.